The riches of Asia have been of great interest to Europeans for centuries. The Renaissance enhanced the drive for trade with innovative shipping technology. By the 15th century, Europeans were looking for faster and cheaper routes to Asia. Christopher Columbus had an idea to sail west across the Atlantic to reach Asia over a direct sea route as opposed to navigating east around the continents. The new world Columbus landed in was loaded with riches. Few European countries voyaged to get a piece. Columbus is remembered as a hero for the modern world, but underneath Columbus's triumphant shadow are minority groups that were robbed of their land and their humanity. The economically prosperous age of exploration coexists with a dark trade featuring inferior humans as property and morally a dark, wretched future for those unfortunate minorities. A terrific trade system was established. The countries involved, such as Spain, Portugal, Britain, France, and the Dutch, grew filthy rich. The primary product that was traded was tobacco, just ahead of animals, vegetables, and of course people. The basic flow of trade consisted of a triangle ranging from Europe to Africa to the Americas. The Spanish led the political structure of the trade regulations and set up colonies to maintain the production and shipment of the resources. The Dutch did the same thing in Indonesia, creating a worldwide trading system. The thing is, labor was needed to maintain this. These stores not only the Americas, but the whole world now sought to harvest resources for their country. Due to a lack of labor, most conquistadors enslaved the natives that they had conquered, which was easy because of their superior technology and the spread of deadly diseases. The natives could not keep up with the harsh duties that were then forced upon them, such as panning for gold in the hot blowing sun and other forms of domestic, agricultural, and industrial slavery. The natives were not traded overseas, where most died of disease and were not accustomed to the foreign conditions. Instead, the most powerful countries of the transatlantic slave era captured athletes who could maintain hot temperatures, bear harsh punishments, and their immune systems were more tolerant to disease because of their dangerously infectious habitat of Western Africa. By the 1600s, there were already a few 100,000 African slaves working on plantations along the eastern coast of the Americas. Slaves had to march over 300 miles from inland Africa, most dying of exhaustion on the way. Those who were lucky enough to survive the march were now sold as property and crammed into damp ships, hundreds at a time. They were chained together by the feet and the necks, and the smell and heat was notoriously unbearable. Filth and disease was most deadly here. In fact, a quarter of the African slaves died in the ships alone. If a slave was even fortunate enough to have survived the harsh march and then a lethal disease-infested chamber over the ocean, then they would spend the rest of their lives working on plantations for the prosperity of the white men. The transatlantic economy indeed prospered, but the slaves faced the most horrible situations possible. Even historically traditional slaves, such as the Romans and the medieval serfs, had it better. The transatlantic and global slave trade industry left inevitable devastation to all imperially conquered lands and the lives of billions. Most of the African and Native American populations had vanished. Columbus pioneered this industry for the greed of his own native crown. His successors followed, and natives of near half the world felt a cataclysmic effect of inhumane treatment for centuries.